Ladies and gentlemen, life is a series of choices. Each decision we make plants a seed in the ground, and eventually those seeds grow. Some people sow honesty, integrity, and responsibility, while others sow greed, deceit, and recklessness. But here's the truth: the harvest always comes. You cannot escape the consequences of what you plant. Now imagine a society where people believe they can outsmart this fundamental principle. They cut corners, lie, exploit, and manipulate. They think they're invincible, untouchable even. But here's what they don't understand: every lie they tell, every corner they cut, every person they hurt is a weight dragging them closer to an inevitable reckoning. The jail I'm talking about isn't just physical, it's the prison of guilt, shame, and emptiness that comes from living out of alignment with truth. You see, the system of life itself demands accountability. You can fool others, you can even fool yourself for a while. But reality has a way of catching up. Justice in all its forms is relentless. It's not just about courts and laws, it's about the natural order. A life built on lies collapses always. A heart consumed by selfishness corrodes, and sooner or later those who defy these truths are brought to their knees. But here's the silver lining. The moment you choose responsibility, the moment you stop running, stop blaming, and stop pretending, that's the moment you begin to break free. Yes, freedom requires facing the mess you've made. It requires admitting I was wrong, but that's the beauty of it. Redemption is possible. So, if you're heading toward destruction, stop. Take a hard look in the mirror. Face what you've been avoiding. Because the path you're on, it doesn't lead where you think it does. The easy way out is a trap. And for those who refuse to see, let me tell you, they are all going to jail. But for you, there's still time. The question is, will you change your direction before it's too late? Every choice we make shapes the trajectory of our lives. Decisions, whether seemingly insignificant or monumental, have a ripple effect that extends far beyond the moment they are made. Imagine a stone dropped into a still pond, the ripples spread outward, touching everything in their path. This is the reality of our actions. Each choice plants a seed, and that seed grows into a tree, bearing fruit that we must eventually eat. The quality of that fruit, whether sweet or bitter, is determined by the integrity and thoughtfulness of our choices. Some people convince themselves that their actions exist in a vacuum, that they can take shortcuts, deceive others, or act irresponsibly without facing the consequences. But the truth is, life doesn't work that way. Every decision leaves a mark, and the cumulative weight of poor choices can lead to inevitable repercussions. Those who ignore this principle may succeed temporarily, but the foundation they build on is fragile. Sooner or later, the cracks appear, and what seemed stable crumbles under the pressure of reality. Consequences often come quietly, at first a small nudge, a warning sign. But if ignored, they grow louder and more forceful. Broken trust, missed opportunities, and damaged relationships are just the beginning. At its worst, a pattern of poor choices can lead to a complete loss of freedom, whether through legal repercussions, personal breakdowns, or the weight of internal guilt and regret. However, the power of choice also holds the potential for redemption. At any moment, we can choose differently. By embracing responsibility and making deliberate, value-driven decisions, we can shift the trajectory of our lives. The consequences of our choices are not only inevitable, but deeply personal. They are a mirror reflecting the character we've cultivated and the life we've built. Accountability is the cornerstone of a functioning society and a fulfilling life. It demands that individuals take ownership of their actions, accept the consequences, and acknowledge the impact they have on others. Justice, in turn, is the natural result of accountability. It ensures that no one escapes the moral and societal order that holds us together. Without accountability, chaos reigns. People who refuse to be accountable may evade responsibility for a time, but no one can outrun the long arm of justice forever. Justice operates on multiple levels. It is not confined to legal systems or courts of law. It exists in the natural order of the universe, where actions have consequences that cannot be ignored or postponed indefinitely. Those who act with selfishness, deceit, or malice create a web of destruction that eventually ensnares them. Betraying trust, exploiting others, or prioritizing personal gain at the expense of integrity leads to inevitable collapse. Relationships deteriorate, reputations crumble, and opportunities vanish as the weight of unaccountable behavior mounts. On the other hand, accountability is not merely about punishment or blame, it is about growth and restoration. When individuals take responsibility for their mistakes, they open the door to learning and improvement. Accountability allows us to face the truth about ourselves and our actions, and in doing so, we reclaim our integrity. Justice, when tempered with accountability, is not only fair but redemptive. It offers individuals a chance to rebuild what was broken and restore trust. A society that values accountability thrives because it is built on trust, fairness, and a shared commitment to what is right. Justice serves as the safeguard of these values, ensuring that those who uphold integrity are protected while those who defy it are held to account. Without accountability, there is no justice, and without justice, there can be no lasting peace. A moral compass is the internal guide that directs us toward what is right, just, and ethical. It is not imposed by external forces, but cultivated within, shaped by values, principles, and an understanding of the greater good. When we follow our moral compass, we navigate life with integrity and purpose, building relationships, careers, and communities on a foundation of trust and respect. However, when this compass is ignored or broken, the consequences are far-reaching, affecting not only the individual but also the society they inhabit. Losing sight of a moral compass often begins with small compromises, justifications for actions that seem harmless in the moment. A lie here, a selfish decision there, and soon the line between right and wrong becomes blurred. These choices, though seemingly minor, accumulate over time, creating a pattern of behavior that strays further and further from what is ethical. Without a moral anchor, people become susceptible to greed, corruption, and exploitation, prioritizing personal gain over collective well-being. The absence of a moral compass leads to chaos. Trust erodes, relationships deteriorate, and communities fracture when individuals act without regard for principles. People who live this way may achieve temporary success, but it is hollow, built on a foundation that cannot withstand the weight of reality. Eventually, the truth catches up, revealing the fragility of a life disconnected from morality. Yet, the moral compass is not irreparable. It can be recalibrated through reflection, humility, and a commitment to change. By realigning our actions with our values, we regain clarity and purpose. Following a moral compass requires courage. It means standing firm in the face of temptation and choosing what is right over what is easy. But in doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to a world that thrives on justice, empathy, and truth. Redemption begins with responsibility. No matter how far someone has strayed, how many mistakes they've made, or how deeply they've hurt themselves or others, the path to healing and restoration is always through taking ownership of their actions. Responsibility is not about blame or punishment. It is about recognizing the truth of what has been done, acknowledging the consequences, and committing to make things right. Taking responsibility requires courage because it demands honesty. It means facing the full weight of one's actions without excuses, without deflecting blame, and without hiding behind justifications. It is a moment of raw vulnerability, but it is also the first step toward freedom. When you own your mistakes, you reclaim the power to change. You stop being a victim of your circumstances or your past and start becoming the architect of your future. Responsibility transforms guilt into growth. The burden of guilt can be suffocating, but responsibility turns that weight into a catalyst for change. By admitting fault and seeking to repair the damage, we demonstrate integrity and a willingness to grow. This process not only restores relationships, but also rebuilds trust in ourselves. We learn that even in failure, there is strength in accountability. Redemption doesn't mean erasing the past, it means learning from it. It's about using the lessons of our failures to chart a better course forward. It's not the avoidance of mistakes that defines us, but how we respond to them. By choosing responsibility, we choose growth over stagnation, courage over fear, and hope over despair. Ultimately, redemption is a gift we give ourselves and others. It is proof that no matter how broken a situation or person may seem, there is always a way back through truth, accountability, and the commitment to live better. No matter where you've been, what you've done, or how far you think you've fallen, redemption is always within reach, but it demands a price: honesty, accountability, and the courage to take responsibility for your actions. Life is not defined by the mistakes you've made, but by your willingness to confront them and choose a better path forward. The consequences of your choices, the justice that holds us all accountable, and the guidance of your moral compass are not obstacles, they are opportunities. They remind us that while we cannot escape the truth, we can always transform it. Redemption isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about recognizing that every moment is a chance to rebuild, to make amends, and to rise stronger than before. So, take responsibility for your life. Don't wait for justice to knock on your door or for the weight of guilt to become unbearable. Decide today to align yourself with truth, integrity, and purpose, because the strength to rise from your failures lies not in avoiding the past, but in facing it boldly and choosing to grow. Redemption is not a gift for the lucky, it's a R.